Hi guys, and welcome back to Saturn-ruled 9. My name is Alexandra. I took a week off for the Men Tell All because I thought it was boring and figured, okay, I'll just come back from the finale. And then a week became longer than a week, so sorry about that. Okay, but I'm back and I'm ready to give you guys the finale. First, I have a plug. The Barbie analysis that I mentioned last week in my video is now actually up on YouTube, so I'm going to link it here. It is through Enneagrammer Typing, a segment called The Prince's Court with Joseph Salteri. I've actually been on a few times now, so you can check out The Prince's Court, the episodes I've been on. All of his content is really good. All of Enneagrammer's content is excellent. Go check it out. We've done a 4 versus 9 episode. We did a Love is Blind episode. We just released one on the interview with the vampire, which was really fun. That's about to come out. So yeah, go check them out. I will link it down in the description box, and yeah, go check them out. All right, back to the Bachelorette. I did not cover week 8. I did not cover the Men Tell All because it was, frankly, it was boring and I didn't really find anything that I could discuss through like an Enneagram lens. It was all just like dumb filler material and ads, so I figured I'm just going to skip it and jump to the finale, so that's what we're here to do. A quick note on how I'm going to be covering the finale. I'm not going to be covering any of those little gimmicky bits from the parts of the show that are in studio. So none of Jesse Palmer being cheesy. I'm going to cover when Doton comes on stage, when Joey comes on stage, when Aaron comes on stage, all that part, but none of like the gimmicky, oh my God, who's going to be on the next season of The Bachelor? What girl is it going to be? None of that stuff. Okay, that being said, let's jump right into it. Week 9, the finale. We pick up right where we left off, and this is with Charity pretending that she's stressed out about Aaron coming back and that she doesn't know what she's going to do. Aaron says that he'd love to stay because he wants to be able to show her more of who he truly is. He keeps saying truly. She also says truly a lot, and it's just such a cheesy word. Charity keeps him. She says they can hang out, have dinner in her room, and then they like make out. I know that she's the Bachelorette and she's like supposed to bring the drama and all that, but like nobody thinks that Aaron has a real shot here. I think he's just being brought back because there were supposed to be 3 men, but then she dumped Xavier and now there's just 2 men. So I think they're just pulling in a third to like fill in the gaps, and we're supposed to buy that it's all equal. Anyway, then we cut to their date in their room, and Aaron is just such a big body 9. Like just look at his face. He's just so chill, and he's very sweet, but to me he reads as insecure in his own body. He just always looks a little bit dissociated to me. Charity looks at him like she knows he's a sweetie pie, but also like she knows that he's not what she wants. More chatting, they make out, she walks him out, and then she tells the camera that she doesn't know what she's going to do about him being there. Okay. Then we cut to the rose ceremony, and all the men walk up. When Doton gets up there, he kind of pats Joey on the back, which I think is cute for some reason, probably because I think he's perfect. And like, look at the height difference here. I looked it up, and Joey's 5'11", so he's not a short guy. That's tall. Doton is just enormous. I looked him up too. He's 6'7", and I looked Xavier up. He's 6'6". So Joey is tall. The other men are just giants. Anyway, Doton and Joey are up there together, and they're expecting to see Xavier because Xavier's the one who had the last fantasy suite, but instead Aaron walks up. I personally found it funny that Doton saw Aaron and had literally 0 reaction. Joey reacted more like I would have, with the kind of like scattered eyes. Anyway, then Charity comes in. I found this part really cheesy, but she like explains she explains that Xavier was let go. She explains that Aaron has arrived and has been brought back. The whole thing just reads as very cheesy and very obviously produced, so I didn't really give this much attention. She gives the first rose to Joey and then calls Aaron, which I think was supposed to be like a moment of suspense, but nobody actually buys it. She just grabs Aaron, asks to talk to him, walks him outside, and then proceeds to have her breakup conversation with him. Aaron is crying again, which surprises me. But overall, the breakup is very sweet. He tells her that he's always in her corner, and she reciprocates. It's cute. Then she walks back inside to give Doton the final rose, and his response is like, yes, of course, but I don't know. To me, something about his energy just reads as very over all the gimmicks. Like, he's like, I think he's really into her and just like wants his shit to be over. So he's like, yes, of course. All right. Now we cut to Aaron in studio for his like exit interview conversation. They do this every season. The final 3 get like an on-stage interview in order to like talk about their feelings and stuff. I didn't find anything interesting in this conversation. He looked really nice in his like mauve or whatever color that is and black suit. He looked very handsome. I like Aaron. I think he's a sweetie pie. I think he's got some inner work to do. Like maybe get more secure in himself, get more comfortable in his body, and he'll be good to go. Okay, so now that we have Aaron out of the way, we move on to what is typically the main feature of this finale episode, which is Charity introducing her top 2 men to her family. We meet her mom, her dad, her sister, and I think they're all 9s. The dad and the sister are definitely 9s, and I think the mom might be a 9-wing 8. I don't know. It's just possibly, I don't know. I think she's a 9-wing 8, which is crazy. That's a whole family of 9s. That's insane. That's crazy. Mom immediately reads as unimpressed and very skeptical, but still going along with Charity's like antics, you know, this whole show thing. Her body energy is just so like not delicate. Anyway, whatever. Charity tells her family that she's in love with 2 people and her mom is instantly not buying it. She's just visually not having it at all. She tells Mom tells the camera that decisiveness is a word that Charity is going to have to get comfortable with because in reality, you can't put them on the same scale. Now it's time for the first guy to show up, and it is Joey. Joey arrives and he tells the camera that he's very confident that he's going to be the last one standing. And yeah, they walk in, they sit in front of the family, and immediately Charity is selling Joey right away. Joey really takes control of the situation. He really takes control of the emotional landscape. He asserts himself to really show how he feels about Charity, to like show his, I don't know, he's very effusive with the family in a way that you can see makes them all comfortable pretty quickly. Joey and Charity's sister sit down together and he tells her that he's really in love with his sister, with Charity. All the Hallmark charms. He brings up being in an interracial relationship as a way to kind of pitch that he is aware of the differences in experience. And this wins over Charity's sister for sure. Then we quickly cut to Charity and her sister talking. The sister asks if she's in love and she's like, oh my God, yeah, and just is more effusive about Joey. Then we cut to Joey and Charity's mom, who is clearly like the tough cookie to crack. You can kind of see that immediately in her energy, but, you know, so this is like the moment. With Charity's mom, Joey immediately tells her that his feelings are sincere and then asks her if there's anything she needs to know as a mother to be comfortable with the situation, because he knows that the situation is like bizarre and strange, and it's just a very empathetic way to kind of rope the mom in while also turn the attention on the mom so that the attention doesn't have to be on him. Instead of being like the star of the moment, he's deflecting the attention to the mom to extract her location, her concerns, so that he can quell those concerns. Smart move. The mom asks if Charity has fully opened up to Joey, which to me struck me as a very similar question that Joey's uncle asked Charity. Remember, Joey's uncle asked Charity, do you think you're getting the full Joey? I don't know. I might be reading into it, but there was something about this question that was like, has Charity opened up to you? Like, is she just performing, or do you like know her? She also asks if they're on the same page with their values and stuff like that. And Joey, of course, has like a perfectly delivered answer to everything. He's very warm and gentle and just has a good answer for everything. And it works. You can see the mom soften up pretty immediately. She tells the camera that he's very genuine. Or no, I think she tells Joey that he's very genuine. But yeah, she like visually softens up a lot. They end up hugging. He's just like really laying it on thick with his emotions, which to me, again, I think he's 3 secondary. And I think in this situation that really comes out. He's really asserting an emotional landscape. You know, like there's more heart in his display than with Doton. And we'll get to Doton later because he's clearly a very heartfelt person. But there's something kind of like, there's something more performative about Joey than Doton, in my opinion. Then we cut to the mom, and the mom says that Joey fits right in. She's like ready to accept him. Maybe not ready to accept him, but the like hard, skeptical body language that she came in with is much softer. She's like smiling. She just seems much gentler. Like Joey really did a good job disarming her. And I just want to show this hug. Like Joey really leans into the hug. Like no wonder he's doing so well. But yeah, that wraps up Joey's time with the family. Everything went well. What a surprise. Charity's like over the moon about it. And yeah, then we cut to a studio portion, which we're going to skip because it's all gimmicky. And now it is Doton's turn to meet Charity's family. Charity tells the camera that she's afraid that she won't be able to make a decision between these two men. And then we cut to her with her family, where she's kind of prepping them for how she wants them to behave. She tells them to have an open mind and an open heart in meeting Doton because their opinions are really important. Their opinions are what's going to help her make a decision. Put a pin in that because that will be very important after Doton leaves. All right, so now Doton is here. Doton is visibly more nervous. He says he's anxious right up front. He doesn't have that like polished, let's fucking do this 3 thing that Joey has. They're both 9s, but I think Doton has a secondary 6 fix where Joey has a secondary 3 fix, and I think the difference in energy is pretty clear between the two of them. So Charity and Doton sit with their family, and yeah, like I said, Doton is just a lot more nervous. Charity feels this nervousness, and I think the nervousness between the two of them reads as maybe ambivalence or something to the family because the tone is definitely a little bit more awkward. Doton is just a little tighter, a little more tense, and even his voice has a little bit more tension than Joey's kind of like effortless flow. All right, now Doton is sitting with Charity's mom. He tells her that he's ruthlessly introspective and that he's checked in with himself every day and can't find any holes in himself or in this relationship, and that is ultimately what leads him to be so confident about his relationship with Charity. Again, he's so nervous that he's almost grimacing. Is that the word? Yeah, grimacing. He looks pretty uncomfortable. To me, he looks in need of comforting, whereas Joey clearly came in doing all the comforting. Even his posture is kind of like shrunken and slouching. And I'm sure Charity's mom is picking up all of this as a 9 herself that is especially good at picking up on body language. She's maybe interpreting it incorrectly, but she's still picking up on it, and it comes across much less confident than Joey did. So again, to me, this highlights the difference between Joey's secondary 3 fix and Doton's secondary 6 fix. Joey's like glowy 3 really pushes through his 9-ness. With assertive energy that is cultivating an emotional landscape. He's really just taking control of the situation. While Doton's secondary 6 fix is pushing through his 9-ness with the reasons of why he knows that he's trustworthy and dependable in his feelings for Charity. He's a lot more wordy and pragmatic, really wanting to walk his mom through his whole process of how he came to be so confident and why him and Charity are good together. But Mom tells the camera that Doton is genuine and cool, but ultimately that he has a familiarity to Charity's exes, which is a twist I didn't see coming. It's possible that Mom has the same kind of like body memory that Charity does. The mom mentioned something about like Doton's swag being reminiscent of Charity's exes, and that makes her now I'm ad-libbing, but that makes her concerned for Charity because this is clearly Charity's pattern and it hasn't worked out for her before. Thought that was kind of interesting, like mother like daughter. Okay, now we get to part 1 of what I consider the most interesting part of the episode. Charity and her mom sit down together. Charity asks her mom for feedback, and her mom says that she has a pep in her step with Doton, but that it wasn't as full-fledged the way that it was with Joey. You can see immediately that Charity's affected by this, which makes her mom immediately affected by Charity's effectiveness. The energy between them changes like so fast. Which makes sense. It's 2 9s being like absorbing each other's negativity and being kind of, I don't know, stimulated by it, affected by it. The mom tells Charity to go with your heart, go with your gut. And in response, Charity says, my gut doesn't exist right now. And Charity's mom says, it does. It does. You probably want to deny the fact, but it does. Don't deny the fact. I found this to be amazing parenting. Charity's mom, as a 9 herself, knows how, well, I won't get to that part yet. I just thought it was amazing parenting. As a 9, knowing how absorbent her daughter is, how easily influenced her daughter is, she's like, well, you got to make your choice yourself. The guidance to just feel into your own gut, your own sense of knowing was just so good. Okay, now we cut to Charity sitting down with her sister. Charity asks her, what do you think? And her sister says, you and Doton have a certain chemistry, but Joey makes you glow. And again, Charity is immediately affected. She's immediately like, okay, which makes her 9-ass sister immediately affected also. I just can't imagine how like quickly drama happens in this family of just like a bunch of 9s. Like if somebody feels bad, it's just going to go through the network of like porous body and then the whole family will be affected at once. Anyway, look at this face. Charity's just stressed as fuck. I think her gut was probably telling her Doton that she wants to pick Doton, and her family preferring Joey is putting this like split kind of panic into her. It's making her attachment pattern panic because like, the guy I want to choose is the choice my family doesn't like. So now she's freaking out thinking that picking Doton is going to like disappoint her family because her family showed clear excitement for Joey. His attachment at work. Like that's why she's panicking. That's why. Okay, Doton leaves, and now Charity goes back to her whole family, and she just immediately, this is the next interesting part. This is part 2 of the interesting part we already started. Charity's back with her whole family, and she immediately surveys them to get their opinions. She tells the camera, "I'm literally a car stuck in mud. My wheels are turning. I need someone to give me a push, just a nice gentle push." Which of course translates to, I need someone to tell me what to do. I need a location. I need someone to give me some direction so that I don't have to use my own will and own the decision to either let go of the man I wanted to choose or to own the decision to disappoint my family. I found it interesting here that she also immediately qualifies her energy with Joey as being partially because she was excited to see her family. That was the first time she had seen her family on the show, and it happened to coincide with the day that they were meeting Joey. So she's kind of telling her family, like, hey, I know you saw I was like really happy with Joey, but it's partially because I was with you guys. And I know I looked really stressed with Doton, but that's partially because the decision, started to weigh on me. I was starting to get stressed out. So just so you guys know, there's like very subtle framing there, a very subtle suggestion of what she wants them to pick up on and see. Anyway, the sister is the first one to talk. She basically says both men are awesome and the decision is yours. And mom says the same thing. Mom says either guy would be great, but you have to make this choice. Charity is instantly frustrated with her mom and says, yeah, but I want to know your opinion. To which mom says, yes, but I don't want to do the comparison there. And then Charity says, why? Do you think it would be too much to handle? And the mom, I'll show the clip, the mom in this, she's clearly unhappy to be having to say this. She's uncomfortable to be having to say this, but she's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much, I just don't think you could handle it. They go back and forth for a little bit. Charity is trying to get opinions out of her mom, and her mom is basically saying, no, I'm not giving you my opinion. Mom tells the camera, Charity wanted me to just tell her, but I can't just tell her. I can't put out words because I will have to be responsible for those words, and she has to do this herself. Again, just amazing parenting. She knows that her daughter's easily influenced, and she knows that if she gives her location at all, Charity will take that location and run with it instead of making her own autonomous choice. She knows that her daughter is just going to attach into whatever the fuck she says, and she's not about to let her daughter let someone else make the decision of who her husband is going to be. Anyway, Charity just cries and basically begs for more opinions, especially from her mom. And her mom just holds, she's just still holding firm to the fact where she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I just love this. I just love this so much. She's basically just pushing the little bird out of the nest. Charity's also not giving up in this situation. She ends up pulling her mom outside because, I don't know, privacy will, I don't know. She just wants to try a different strategy of getting information out of her mom. And her mom is still holding true to just not saying anything. She is just committing to being Switzerland. I'm a neutral party. You are not getting my influence. No, bitch, I'm not telling you. Mom says, deep inside of you, you do know. And then Charity just throws a little fit because she's like, Mom, I don't know. She even says whatever and huffs off like a little teenager. It's just amazing. 9s just want to stay in that womb forever. Charity is just so upset because no one's telling her who to choose. Charity feels split between what she wants and what she perceives her family wants. When what's happening is her family is all being very neutral, saying, do what you want, we'll support what you want. But because Charity already got that first hint of, oh, they prefer Joey, now she's freaking out because she's like, well, if I choose Joey, I don't get who I want. But if I get who I want, my family doesn't get who they want. Attachment is crazy. Okay, so now we move on to the final date with each man. Charity tells the camera that she's confused some more, and then we move right on to her date with Joey. They pop champagne and then they talk about the day with the family. Joey, of course, says like all the right things at the right time, and he pulls out a gift, which ends up being the poem that was written for them during their date in New Orleans, that like street poet wrote for them. Charity cries. She's really moved by it. Yeah, there's just nothing wrong with her and Joey. This is framed as like another magical moment. They tell each other they love each other. Joey tells the camera that he's confident it's him, that he's going to propose to her tomorrow and they're going to be engaged and blah, blah, blah. And he's just really coming across as like the perfect rom-com, heartfelt, heartthrob, romance novel boyfriend. There's no hiccups. There's nothing. He's just like a fairy tale boy. Okay, so then we skip all the studio stuff again, and we move on to her final date with Doton. Charity says that going into her date with Doton, she's just kind of emotionally all over the place. The weight of the decision she has to make is weighing on her, and she's not as, buoyant as she was with Joey. They pop more champagne together, and Doton gives this like really lovely toast about both getting the fairy tale ending that they deserve. Charity jumps right into wanting to know the information of how things went with her family. And he jokes about still having some work to do on mom, but that otherwise he was able to communicate how he felt about her to her family. Doton says that he has a gift for her too, and he just fucking crushes it. It's like a little treasure hunt of their time together on the show. The first gift is his resident alien card. The next one is a s'more from the first one-on-one. There's some other stuff, and then the very last one is a locket with both of their baby photos in it. Oh, God, he's perfect. He calls her his treasure, like, my God. She starts to cry, of course, because who wouldn't cry at that? And then she fucking ruins it by telling the camera that she is still split in her decision. She still doesn't know what she's going to do. Doton makes her feel amazing, but that she also has this great love with Joey. She then asks Doton if he's feeling confident, which, I don't know, to me also felt like outsourcing of guidance. I feel like she wanted Doton to say, yeah, I'm super fucking mega confident, so that she could ride off of that certainty instead of having to decide for herself. But instead, Doton answers perfectly, and he says that he's confident in their connection, but knowing there's another guy here and that there probably is a strong connection between the two of them, he's nervous. But he says that he trusts her decision and ultimately just wants her to be happy. So again, this was just another beautiful display of her just trying to get a decision made for her and it backfiring. Doton said the perfect thing where he just placed the autonomy back into her lap. In my opinion, she tries it again by bringing up Joey. She says that her brain is just really clouded. I was, of course, mad at this because I don't want Doton to feel uncomfortable or insecure for a moment in his whole life. But again, I took that as her positioning herself as someone that needs guidance, hoping that he would like pick up the hint and provide her with something. But of course, he doesn't do that because from his perspective, it just makes him feel insecure. It just looks like she might pick Joey. He leaves that date insecure. He leaves it feeling a little down, which pisses me off, but I guess I have to accept that. Okay, but who cares because now it's proposal day. She speaks super highly of both of them, and she does this for a while as we get a montage of both Joey and Doton picking out the rings they're going to propose to her with and just getting ready for the proposal day in general. Charity and Jesse have this moment right before she walks up onto her like stage thing that she'll be proposed to on. She cries to Jesse, tells him that this is like a really hard decision, blah, 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 and then we move on. Now, for those that haven't seen the show before, the way that this works is the first guy that comes out of the car, well, I'll back up. The way that this works is that both men have to like give her a little speech and propose to her. And the first person that comes out, she has to like stop him from proposing and break up with him. Very rough. He has to like go through with his whole proposal pitch and everything. And she has to fucking stop him and then break his heart right there. But anyway, I'm saying this because whoever comes out first, we know is the one being broken up with. So who we're looking for at this point is who is the first one that's going to come out. If it's Doton that comes out, Doton's going to get dumped. If it's Joey that comes out, Joey's going to get dumped. Okay, so back in. The first car pulls up. This is a drum roll. And I was paying attention to their suit colors, so as soon as I saw the blue leg of the suit, I knew that it was Joey. Joey is the first person out of the car, which means Joey is about to get broken up with, which I, of course, was super happy about, but very sad for Joey. Joey tells the camera that he's excited and he's ready and he's confident, and it's just rough. Who knows if that's true, because I kind of feel like he was auditioning for Bachelor the whole time. But that's what the show's trying to paint, so we'll just pretend to go with it. Okay, Joey walks up to her, they hug, and then he starts his little speech. In the speech, he references a quote from the poem that was written for the two of them, where it says, "I sink into you without thinking," which is just such a love, like a 9 love poem. I sink into you without thinking. It's just such a body type 9 mergy, shit. I would love it. Anyway, then he finishes his speech and he goes, all right. And he's about to get on one knee, but Charity grabs him by the shoulders and is like, no, wait. Ugh, God. She tells him how much he means to her, how special their time has been, blah, blah, blah. And then says, but, and of course in this moment, Joey knows what's going on. He nods very graciously and immediately moves into trying to comfort her. Charity is crying and trying to get through the rest of the breakup, speech that she wants to leave him with. Joey is saying it's okay. He's hugging her. I think he just dissociates through the rest of it. Like, look at this face. But of course, he's super gracious about the whole thing. They wish each other happiness and they hug and they cry. And it does feel really sincere and honest. They say that they will always have love for each other. And to me, that feels true as well. I don't buy that they were in love. You guys already know that. To me, it feels like the purpose of why they met was to reflect each other and to get to experience themselves. They got to just have a little oasis. To me, it felt like a deep appreciation and platonic love. Like, thank you for treating me well and for letting me see that I deserve to be treated well. Anyway, then Joey cries in the car ride home and just really gives us this perfect heartthrob, heartbroken performance that is very trademark, very hallmark of whoever is going to be chosen to be the next Bachelor. All right, now we cut to the studio, which, by the way, the finale, like the episode that is recorded, that happens months before the studio part, just in case anybody needs that said. Yeah, you get it. So we cut to the studio and Joey is on the stage and he looks gorgeous. He got this new haircut, which makes him look way less of a Cabbage Patch and just like a handsome man. So good for him. He ends up telling Joey that he just blacked out through the breakup, which is beautiful. Like, I don't know, survival instincts kicked in. He just blacked out through something uncomfortable. Then Charity comes out on stage to get to see him again, and it's just it's a sweet thing. They look happy to see each other. They wish each other well, lots of gratitude, blah, blah, blah. Everything's good. The way you'd expect it to be for 2 social triple attachment 9s. All right, now we move back to the episode to watch her and Doton get engaged. All 18 feet of Doton walks up to like the stage thing that it's all going to happen on. And again, he's clearly so nervous. I know that there's probably 2 parts to this. One, he's nervous because I think he's experiencing real things. I think it's actually real for him. And 2, he's visibly more nervous, I think, because 6 is higher up in his, I was going to say stacking, but that's not how it works. 6 is just closer to 9. It's not his last fix. Something I noticed, Charity, I think, is doing her best to really give him the body language that says, hey, it's okay. It's you. Relax. I'm so happy to see you, blah, blah, blah. But Doton, I think, is just too in his own experience to be able to pick up on that. And he just launches right into the speech. It's really beautiful. I'm not going to talk about it here, but it's so nice. You should watch it. Charity gives her speech in return and she cries while she speaks. I find it very cute that they both tell each other that they feel adored and cherished and respected by the other person. Anyway, she says that in her speech, she says that he's a man that she will love forever or can love forever. Something about him being a man that she can love forever. And it is in this moment that Doton recognizes that he's the last one here. And he gives this like huge smile that's adorable. And he even lets out this like big exhale of relief. And you know that in his like enormous 9 body, that had to feel really good. All right, then he gets down on one knee and he proposes. The ring is beautiful. Charity says yes. They're hugging, they're crying, everything's happy. It's very beautiful. And it's also very funny that down on one knee, he's only like 6 or 7 inches shorter than she is. He ends up standing up and he does this like happy Hulk thing that I found super cute. She gives him the final rose and yay, we have our fairy tale. I normally don't believe in love stories on The Bachelor. Like, you just have to not watch it for face value or it's just like very depressing because everything sucks. But I think this was sincere. I think their relationship is really sincere. So that was pretty cool to like actually watch a love story. But whatever, that's besides the point. Now we cut back to the studio and Charity and Doton walk out together and they look really good. And then we just basically have a chat to talk about how happy they are. They cut to Charity's mom in the audience and ask her if she's happy with the decision. And she says that after seeing the journey on TV and getting to know Doton a little more, yes, she's very happy. And she does it still in her kind of like constrained energy. Maybe she is a one wing. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyway, Charity is like super happy in response to this. She's laughing so loud while her mom is answering that question. And I don't know, I wish I could just know how that dynamic played out between Charity and her mom. Charity had to have been thankful that her mom ended up staying her ground and not giving a location, because now Charity made her choice and everything fucking worked out. Anyway, that wraps up the love story of Charity on The Bachelorette as The Bachelorette. And I'm just so happy I was right. I'm so happy it's Doton. I hope they last forever. Okay, I'm going to move on from the cheesy part of... I'm just going to stop being cheesy. But I was right. And I'm very happy about being right. Anyway, we end the episode with the announcement that Joey is going to be our next Bachelor, which means I was right again. I'm sure Joey's going to be a great Bachelor because he's just the perfect blank canvas. He makes everybody comfortable, blah, blah, blah. I will personally be interested to see how he handles like conflict and discomfort and having to make tough decisions when he's in a position where he has to be active and not just responsive the way he had to be on this whole season. Yeah, I want to see breaks in his persona. I want to see him break a little bit, be angry, be annoyed, be irritated, be stressed, get in those funks he mentioned that makes him a difficult person to be in a relationship with. And with that, we are wrapped up with this season. Oh, thank you so much for joining me on this. And I hope this was fun for you guys. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope it was entertaining. Hope you learned something. Yeah, I'm also excited for the next show I'm going to be covering, which is Love is Blind. So, as usual, let me know your thoughts on this episode, on this season, on Charity's decision, on anything. How you think Joey will do in this position, all that good stuff. Yes, again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next series. Okay.